Hello, everybody. Good day. So I did my weigh-in yesterday and forgot to post it, but I was 172, which I think is zero point 0.9 down or something like that for the last week. Not great, but hey. So how are you guys doing today? I've got some information to share with you. I'm going to pin on a couple little short videos at the end of this that I did earlier. Okay, so here's what's going on in my life. A lot of you already know this. A lot of you that watch my channel, you may not be signed up for my channel, but you watch my channel and you're people who have known me for the last few years and you've watched the different things I've went through ever since 2020 when I had my stroke and started posting about weight loss. Okay. So at one point I got all the way from 268 down to, I think the lowest I ever got was 139 or something like that, but I seem to have averaged out in the 150 somewhere. Quite happy with that. I was like a size 6. I was doing great. Everything was going good, and I had to have a major hysterectomy. And when I say hysterectomy, I mean complete hysterectomy. That was 2 years ago in January or February or March. So I just remember it was one of those months. And I immediately put on 15 pounds. So I was like in the 170s, probably about where I am now. And the doctor was like, don't worry about it. It'll come off. Don't worry about it. Well, 2 years later, it had not come off. And plus, it had borrowed 15 from some friends. It had moved his friends and family in. So I was I was in the 180s, right? And I was not happy with life at all. And I just was struggling mentally with this because I had swore to myself that I was never going to get back up to 200 again. I was not going there. And I saw myself creeping up there again. And I also knew that I had gotten lax with I wasn't eating exactly the way I had used to when I was doing the really, really, really serious low carb. And I mean, I was serious about it forever. I used to have a group on Facebook. And in that group, I would post daily pictures of myself. That's how I kept myself on track. I would post my meals. I would post everything that I was doing, the exercise I was doing, whatever I was doing, I was posting about it, right? But we ended up closing the group. The group just didn't really go anywhere. Like, no, I was like only one posting. It was like a diary to myself with all these people being voyeurs. So we ended up closing the group. And I fell out of even more touch because I don't know why, but for some reason I started having sourdough bread several times a week, or a couple times a week anyway. I was having cookies every now and then, like just whatever, different kinds of cookies. I was having birthday cake, which led to Easter cake, which led to, I was having cake. I was just having things that never have done my body well. I was adding back in flours and things like that. I mean, I was trying not to. I was kind of doing it half each way, right? But I just wasn't trying as hard. And as you can hear, I'm very plugged up. I don't know if it's something in the air. I don't know if it's some kind of an allergy reaction to something. I don't really know what's going on. My throat's been going in and out for the last month or so. So I'm going to be having that checked pretty soon, though. Anyway, I've got a few different health things that I have to go to the doctor for and have some things checked out. I've been really lethargic, really fatigued. Ever since we come back from Vegas. Vegas did a number on me, man. For some reason, I had a really bad day there, and it's kind of stretched out to a really bad week since we've been back. And we're going camping in August, so I really want to get past this little hump. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So I just really haven't been doing that well, right? Because I've been going back and forth and back and forth. And right now I'm weighing at about 171, 172, fluctuating back and forth. So I get down to 168 and 169 every once in a while. But I can't seem to get back to the place where I was. And not only that, but I don't feel like, even though I'm not that much over where my body has settled in the 150s, I feel like I'm way away from there. I feel way away from there. My legs are heavier. I'm lifting heavier weights than I used to. So I'm still lifting my weights. See, I've got my little arm going. I'm still doing my exercises. I'm still doing my yoga, but I just don't seem to be increasing the gains like I was. So I don't really know what's going on, but I think one of the things that's going on with me, I have severe stomach issues. I've been told I had IBS. I've been told I had celiac disease. I've been told I had Crohn's disease. I've been told that I just have issues, gut issues. My gut flora isn't right. I've got candida. I've got this. I had H. pylori supposedly at one time. They treated me for 3 times before they finally said, oh, you don't have that. I don't know if I ever did or if they cured it finally with so many treatments. Who knows? The treatment is horrible for that, by the way. Anyway. So again, back to the struggles, right? My stomach has gotten worse and worse and worse. And this past year, it's probably been the worst it's ever been. And I've been trying all different kinds of stuff. What was really working good for me for, 12, let's see, what week is it? For about 13 weeks was the alternate day fasting. It was like it was giving my stomach the break that it needed. But when we went to Vegas, I fell off. And before that, I went to my daughter's wedding and fell off a little bit. But I would get right back on. I didn't really feel like it was that big of a thing. In Vegas, I really fell off, though. Really. Don't even want to talk about it. And I just can't seem to get... That doesn't seem to be working for me now. I'm still fasting as much as I can. But fasting doesn't seem to be doing it for me either as far as the problems I'm having. So today, I watched this video by a lady named Robin something. I don't remember what her name was now. And she was talking about eating from the earth, eating naturally, eating whole foods. And I know we all hear whole foods, whole foods, whole foods. But she really got serious about talking about processed foods. I went into my cupboards. Anything that's in your cupboards that has more than one ingredient is considered super processed. But even a one ingredient product like my dried pea crumbles that is only peas. It's only peas, but it's dehydrated peas to make the crumble out of it. Even that's considered a processed thing. Even though it's got high protein, it's got no carbs, it's got no fats, it's basically good for you, it's still considered processed. So anything in a package, tofu, processed, even if it only has soybeans. Soy milk, processed, even if it only has soybeans, which mine does, soybeans and water. So there's all these things, processed, peanut butter, processed. Everything is processed, right? So I decided I'm only going to eat things for the month of August. I'm doing my very own challenge for August. This is my challenge. It's not your challenge, but it's going to be a tough one. I'm only going to eat it if it's in its whole form. So like today, I took a bunch of vegetables, put them in a pan, put a little bit of water in there to steam them, put some spices. I will use spices, dried spices like parsley and basil and stuff like that. I'm going to use dried spices. You're not going to keep me away from my spices. Put a little salt in there, a little pepper. And I cooked them in the oven for quite a while, actually too long because they got a little mushy. But that's what I have today. I have a great big bowl full of those I've been slowly eating out of. I took a thing of tofu that I have that was actually expired slightly. And I knew I had to use it. So I was like, okay. And it was my last thing of tofu for the month because it's my time to go shopping again, right? So I made some cheesy sauce out of it just with plain tofu, a little bit of nutritional yeast, which I know is processed. Nutritional yeast, a little bit of salt. That's all that was. Then I made like this, I don't know what it was. It was like a dry peanut butter, tofu, and stevia. I was trying to make a pudding, I think. It didn't make a pudding, but it doesn't taste bad. So I'm going to finish that stuff up. And then I'm going solely vegetables and fruits for the month. I'm not going to do chaffles because you have to use almond flour. Now, I am going to get some soybeans. I'm going to try to make my own tofu. I'm going to try to make my own soy milk. Single ingredient, I made them, not processed. Well, I guess it is kind of processed. But aren't beans, if I took beans and cooked them, are they now processed? Because they're not raw beans anymore. I don't know. That's kind of a slippery slope there. I'm thinking that if I make the soy milk myself and make or almond milk or whatever I choose to make, like almond milk is almonds and water if you just blend them up, right? So maybe if I make the stuff myself, it won't be the same as if you buy it, because even though it says it's only soybeans and water on the carton, how does it last so long in the carton then? There has to be a preservative of some sort in there. There has to be. Right? Am I right? All the stuff in the cupboard has to have some sort of a preservative, even though it has a best by date, best if used by blah, blah, blah. There still has to be something in there making it good until that date. Because if I make homemade pasta, my homemade pasta does not last that long. Okay? Not even if I dry it out. It does not last as long as what's in the packages. So it looks like I'm going to be having the month of August is going to be mostly, it won't be raw because I don't do well with raw. But it will be mostly vegetables, mostly fruits, and I don't really know what I'll make the sauces out of. I guess I could smash up, I don't know. I'll figure out, because I don't really think I can eat vegetables and nothing else all month and not have some sort of sauces, but to try to figure out how to make it without using, because I'm not even going to buy any nutritional yeast for the month. Because again, processed. Does that mean garlic powder is processed? Well, of course it is. I guess I'll get raw garlic and just chop that up and mince it and use that. Oh boy, it's gonna be a tough month. But I'm really going to try for the next month to eat nothing processed. Wish me luck. This is going to be probably one of the hardest months. But I'm expecting a huge weight loss this month. Because if I eat nothing but fruit and vegetables for the entire month of August, and I have a camping trip coming up, but that'll be easy. I'm not even worried about that. Fruits and vegetables will be fine for that. But if I eat nothing but that for the whole month of August, there better be some weight loss going on. Some impressive weight loss. Matter of fact, I'm going to make a prediction that if I can stick to this for 30 days, that's how many days are in August, I'm going to predict that I can lose a minimum of 15 pounds. Just because I'll be exercising, I'll be doing all my normal stuff. So I'm going to predict 15 pounds at 172, 15. That puts me back 150. That'll put me right back probably almost to where I started. So I will be happy with that. This month should get me where I want to go. And actually, since I said I was going to go for the 139, 142, I might just continue to do it and keep on until I get to there. So will I be doing the alternate day fasting this month? No, I won't. I'm keeping my alternate day fasting schedule and calendar up here because I may decide as I go along to do certain days, and I will circle them on my schedule, and that way I'll know which days I did the fasting on and stuff like that. Or I might do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday type alternate day fasting and just leave my weekends open since it's going to be fruit and vegetables anyway. Anyway, I'll let you know about that as I get going in that. But for a fact, I'm going to be doing fruits and vegetables for the month of August. Wish me luck. But I'm going to try so hard not to do anything processed and see if I can heal my gut myself. I got a bunch of different... I already take a lot of supplements, and well, not a lot, but I already take supplements. I already take probiotics. I already take stuff that's supposed to heal my gut. But I actually ordered a couple things that were on her list to try out. So we're going to see how that goes. So wish me luck, and that's where I'm at right now. And I'm going to tack on the video from my little, I had a little thing going on in the kitchen earlier. Didn't turn out that great, but it was what it was. So I'll attach that to the end of this. Peace. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next week with my weigh-in. Bye. Hello, my friends. I couldn't tell if that came on or not. So I've got some stuff, some changes that are coming. Big changes. Huge changes. I'm going to do a video that's going to tell you all about those changes coming up, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what's going on in the kitchen right now because of these changes. So hang on just a second. Let me turn this around. All right. So I'm getting rid of all my prepackaged foods. So I had to use up some tofu I had, and I don't want the tofu mix. It was just pure tofu, just pure soybeans. So I made a little sauce thingy that I'm trying to turn into chippy type things. It's not working too well, but I got 3 other, I'm going to be doing it several ways so I figured it out. I've got some very plain veggies that I cooked in the oven with just some water and spices. Alexa, turn off the timer. I have a couple sauces I made here. This was just the tofu mixed with some nutritional yeast and a little bit of salt. This is the peanut butter powder. You know that peanut butter powder that we use sometimes, mixed with a little bit of stevia. I just want to try a couple different applications. And then I use that to make this little sauce right here, which was part of the cheese sauce I made, with a little tiny bit of pure organic tahini. And I just made a little sauce for dipping the vegetables in. Okay, so, and I've got my soy milk base sitting here. I'm going to do something with it here in a little bit. Okay, so because I'm not going to be using any, or I'm going to try not to use any packaged foods at all, pretty much in the month of August, I literally have to get some soybeans, and I got to learn how to make my own tofu and my own soy milk. So that's going to be very interesting. Wish me luck. I don't know if I'm going to pull it off, but I'm going to try my hardest. If not, it's going to be a month with no tofu. Anyway, I'll explain the rest of this to you in a little bit. I have no idea what the heck happened here, but as you can see, they kind of got worse as we went along until the very last couple I tried, which came out more chippy, thin like a Lay's, probably thinner than a Lay's actually. But yeah, they're not too fabulous, and for all the work they are, I won't be doing that again. Pain in the butt.